The community of Grande Gros has lost one of its pillars. The A.K.A. and Ochilia families have lost their matriarch. The Church of St. John Vianney has lost a prayer warrior. It is with immense sadness and broken hearts that we announce the passing of a strong woman of faith and steadfastness, our beloved Pauline Francois, also known as Talisha A.K.A. and Auntie T of Grande Gros. She passed away at the OKEU hospital on Monday, 25th October 2021. She was 92 years old. She was a retired seamstress, a long-standing president of the Grande Mothers and Fathers Group, member of various prayer groups, member of the Vintage Choir of St. John Vianney Church, member of Couples for Christ, a staunch participant in the charismatic renewal for many years, an enthusiastic follower of the Moshi Lawas group. She was predeceased by her daughter, Evangelina A.K.A., also known as Evelyn, her son Philip A.K.A., also known as Curtis or Mantap, her grandson Nilroy A.K.A., also known as Fat Boy. Left to celebrate her life and legacy are her husband, Winston Francois, also known as Mr. Stan of Grande Gros, her children, son Hilton A.K.A. of Marisol, daughter Joan A.K.A. Shepherd, residing in Rochester, New York. Her grandchildren, her dear granddaughter whom she mothered, Katerina Mark, also known as Mrs. Mark or Zenith, residing at Grande Gros, Mandy A.K.A., Walton A.K.A., Reuven A.K.A., Varnus A.K.A., all residing at Marisol, Mandela A.K.A. and Nadez A.K.A. residing in Rochester, New York, Devon Duncan residing in St. Martin. Two great-grandchildren, Heidi Mark residing at Grande Gros, Delisha A.K.A. Jr. residing in Rochester, New York. Her stepchildren, James Joseph of Grande Gros, Janetta Joseph of Larissus Dennery, Norbert Joseph of Olean Dennery, Claudius Joseph residing in Martinique. Her sisters, Florina Eugene Philip of Desrameaux, her children and their families, Bernadette Eugene, also known as Baby of Desrameaux, her children and their families, Prisca Lucian, also known as Olive, residing in England. In-laws, daughter-in-law Morella A.K.A. of Marisol, son-in-law Raymond Shepherd of Rochester, New York, grandson-in-law Augustine Mark, also known as Murray, of Grande Gros, sisters-in-law, including Cecil Griffith in the U.S., Eula in Grande Dennery, brothers-in-law, including Joseph Augustine Nicholas, also known as Gorgos of Grande. Her close relatives, Joseph A.K.A., also known as Harris, Bobway or Boabs of Montsepa, his children and their families, both in St. Lucia and abroad, especially Benjamin A.K.A., also known as Arnin, Patterson A.K.A., and Catherine Gerard, also known as Valerie, in New York, Joseph A.K.A., also known as Kenty, residing in the U.S., Moses Smith residing at Marisol, Margaret Darius, also known as Senecia of Grande, children of deceased Christina Ogis, also known as Cetalia of Balata, children of the deceased Emily A.K.A., also known as Awelis in the U.S., children of the deceased Samuel Alexis of Gros, her lifelong and dearest friend, Martha Pierre of Sunny Acres. Her special friends, Teresa Italia, also known as Roseanne of England, Noreen Vite of Union, Patricia Lee of Corinth, Mrs. Helena Louis of Degazon, Botilia and Louis Boboy Prosper of Norbert, Mrs. Helena Prosper and family of Norbert, Justina Elfridge of Piat Grande, Sandra Niles residing in Norbert, her friends from the various prayer groups, especially Sister Linda from Bexar, Sister Joe, Marjorie Phillip of the Gros Presbytery, Mr. Hercules, her friends from the various church groups, especially from Vintage Choir, fellow parishioners from the St. John Vianney Church of Grande, Gros, her friends and acquaintances at Radio 100, especially Charlie. Family friends: the Lucea family in Martinique and France, Marjorie Duchel in Martinique, Paul Gaby Goderand, Michelin Marlin in Martinique, Robbie and Rosie in England, Unifer Alexander residing in Bexar and her siblings, Helen and Leroy Florton of Grande Gros, Enda Ephraim of Marisol and family, Sonia Alexander in England, Sonia Jabatis, also known as Spongy in Atlanta, Natalie Ameline Gustave and family of Roblo, Laura Anthony and family of Grosselet, children of deceased Ursule Mason, also known as Miss Yu of Degazon, her numerous godchildren including Matilda Matthew, also known as Jorman, Marianne Sino, Wilma Sinmarth, Annalise Mesbina Bernard, Marita Mariella Felix, Chris Thomas, Anthony Octelier, all in St. Lucia, Tanja Prosper residing in the U.S. Special people in her life: Lillian Anthony, Alwyn Samson, also known as Tykar, and family, Mrs. Genova Davidson, also known as Jin of Piat Granivier. All her neighbors in the Dewey do, especially Joycelyn and Lena's Popo, cousin Virgin Albert and family, Byron and Juliana Ochilia, Lena's Octelia and family, Hazel and Amita John, Margaret and Kenny Joseph, Smokey, Mario, the Flood families, especially Mr. Andrew, Joyce, and Sam Jugba Flood, the O'Killia families of Granivier, Grosley, and Denry, Ochilia family, Octelian family, the Alberton families of P. Bush and Castries, the Casimir families of Granivier, Barbados, and Germany, Alexis family of Grosley, Michaud family of Grosley, Brittany families of Granivier and abroad, Theodule family of Grosley, the Louis family from Caco-Giron. Sincere gratitude to the many people who provided her with medical care during her illness. Special thanks to Dr. Nathaniel, Dr. O'Gees, Dr. Glasgow, Dr. Gomez, Dr. Clark, Nurse Regis, current and past staff of the Granivier Health Center, the nurses and doctors of the ER at the OKEU, especially Nurse Selvina Wilson. Auntie T was dearly loved and will be missed by her numerous other relatives and friends, both here and abroad. Details of the funeral service for our beloved Pauline Francois will be provided in a subsequent broadcast. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Her body now lies at Crick's Funeral Home Limited, Villewood, Castries.